Hi, my name is Darren Joseph from HTJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of speaking with Ravi. Ravi, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I'm Ravindran Narayanasamy. You can call me Ravi from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I'm in charge of the tax department from Raki Siastan Ramanan. I've been in this line more than 15 years, I can say, mostly specialized in tax.
Great. And thanks for sharing a copy of the book. It was from the Chartered Institute of Tax as well as the Institute of Certified Public Accountants in Malaysia. Thank you very much. UAE in general and Dubai in particular became quite popular within, it goes through phases because I've been around long enough to see that it has ebbs and flows. It peaks in popularity and then it dips again. There was a recent peak during COVID where a lot of people were discovering the UAE in general, Dubai in particular. And it seems as if it may be slightly dipping and certain relatively high profile influencers have visibly moved away from the UAE, and they are now promoting Malaysia, and they're now speaking very highly of Malaysia as a jurisdiction to move to set up, to do business, or just to spend time because of the quality of life that the Malaysia offers. Do you have any comments or thoughts on that?
Frankly, I don't hear a lot of people moving from Dubai to Malaysia. But since you have brought up this issue, but I just done some research. What I know is it may be happening because Malaysia is getting more open up. Then our infrastructure and our cost of doing business is lower than Dubai. You can say it's cost effective there. Then Malaysia is becoming an IT region also in service in terms of IT. You see, recently we heard it's actually my hometown. I think Google has invested 450 million. They bought a land for database center. So there's some Facebook also coming in, Tesla also coming in. So it's on IT base, we are seeing some movement here. So I think they're seeing potential. There's a potential developing here in Malaysia regards to that, because the economy is now moving after the week. They are saying which place is more flexible to go around, because if you're in Malaysia, you see a lot of Singaporeans also coming to Malaysia. I heard recently a lot of Malaysians shifted their home to Johor Bahru, and they are commuting daily to Singapore because of the same issue. Okay, because of the cost of living is more cheaper compared to Singapore. But it doesn't mean to say we don't have the quality where cheaper means. There are a lot of, you say, educated workers we have. Now they are going to vocational technical lines. The government is encouraging more on that. So technically, I see the reason it can be that. The second reason is going to be, I think Dubai is starting to introduce for corporate tax today within certain level they have started to. So it's just a starting point, you see. So we don't know when they go up to a maximum limit, or because we cannot say Dubai will be tax free forever. So there will be, maybe they're looking at the second option, whether there is anything happen more further than this cost increase. Maybe they are looking at Malaysia as an option to do it, because it's the transit. Malaysia and Singapore especially is a transit to the Europe and the Asia at the other side. You see a lot of KLIA and Changi Airport, a lot of transit is happening. So it's very common really, this region, technically. So in terms of infrastructure, transport should not be an issue.
I mean, that's a fair point, like one size doesn't fit all. So it depends on your situation, depends on the type of business you're running, depends on where where your customers are, your structure, that, quite a variety of factors impact on where would be the ideal jurisdiction. In addition to which, as you pointed out, there's a lot of understanding now. When you look at the headline tax rates could be misleading. I mean, okay, yes, your corporate tax rate in Singapore is 17% headline, and in the Emirates is 9%. And you may think, well, Malaysia is 24-ish. That's pretty high. But then you need to look at stealth, what we call as tax professionals, stealth taxes. So the cost of living overall. So the corporate tax rate may be higher in Malaysia, but then the cost of like renting somewhere to live or buying somewhere to live in the Emirates or Singapore versus Malaysia, way lower. If you have kids, the cost of school, the cost of a car, transport, moving around, it just, when you factor all of those in, even though the headline tax rate at the corporate level may be higher, overall, the cost of doing business in Malaysia may be more attractive. In addition to it, as you pointed out, initially the Emirates was relatively tax free. Within recent times, there've been a series of decrees, and it's like a moving target as they seek to put this corporate tax system in place. And business doesn't like uncertainty. And when there are too many changes, it just feels a bit uncomfortable and unpredictable. And not that there aren't changes everywhere else. I mean, we're talking about changes in Malaysia, but generally speaking, Malaysia has a corporate tax for a lot longer period of time. So things feel relatively more stable and predictable from a business point of view. It can project outwards for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years with reasonable certainty, whereas it doesn't feel that way in the Emirates because it's 9% now, but this feeling on the ground is that it's going to increase over time. There's a global minimum tax and so on. So that's natural and logical. But on balance, for certain people, depending on what they're doing, Malaysia is quite attractive. And for me personally, here in Singapore, I know quite a number of people who work in JB and who cross over. I mean, something like 300,000 to 400,000 people cross that causeway daily from Malaysia into Singapore to work and then go back. So it's probably one of the busiest borders in the world. And again, that just speaks to how attractive Malaysia is when all things are considered. So yeah, absolutely makes sense.
One more point I want to add. We have a stable government. Okay, from outside you look, every country is the same thing. You see, Anwar won't be here as a PM longer because there's a lot of opposition on this. But whatever happens, tomorrow Anwar goes off, another minister comes in. In history, Malaysian history, the economy policy doesn't change much. That means they don't touch the economy policy much. It's just minimum adjustment only they do. Relatively, as what you say, you do a 5-year projection, the government still change. The projection still stands because the economy policy, as we say, it still stands.
Absolutely. And generally speaking, yeah, there is a stability when it comes to policy. As the normal state of affairs, one government leaves, one government comes in, but it doesn't change radically like me in some other jurisdictions. So that's an important point. Thanks for sharing that. Ravi, thank you for your time, sharing your expertise from on the other side of the causeway in Malaysia to me here in Singapore. If someone wanted to find you, what's the best way to contact you, Ravi?
They can always call us. I think you can find our contact in most Roland Asia Pacific website. You can call me. We are in the loop. Our company name is Rocky CS Tan and Ramadan. My contact is there. If you need any tax advice or any tax assistance in Malaysia, you can always approach us. Myself, we have an audit partners, Mr. Hari Chandran. Then we have our audit senior partner also, Mr. Venkata Ramadan. They are also in the boat. You can contact any of us if you have any issue.
Thank you for your time. We'll see you next time.